Did Donald Trump do blasphemy against God on Easter? Roll the clip.
He has just threatened Iran in extraordinary graphic terms, giving the Iranian regime just over a day to either make a deal, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or face hell. If your children are watching, be warned, the president did not use polite language. Quote, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. We should note that destroying civilian power infrastructure is generally considered to constitute a war crime under international law, though the president could argue that the infrastructure has dual use and also is utilized by Iran's military.
To break this all down.
It's Donald Trump at its finest. Like on Easter, he decides to send a message like that. Some of you think it's tasteless and not very holy on a holy day, which is the holiest day for Christians. Praise to Allah. I mean, that's what the Muslims love to do when they commit their atrocities, right? They praise to Allah, which is God. And I don't see anything wrong with the tweet, honestly, or the Truth Social. You're playing against an enemy that hates us, hates our way of living, hates our way of thinking, hates our ideology, and they don't want to come to the table. So what do? Some may criticize this. A lot of you are criticizing the way he handled this. We need better leadership, but this is what you get with Donald Trump. I knew when I voted for Donald Trump that we were going to get tweets like this. I knew what we were signing up for. I didn't vote for him the first time. I didn't understand who Donald Trump was when he first got elected in 2016, and I was having heart attacks like everybody else. But when I have to balance both sides of the equation, who's going to do a better job? In my opinion, this go around, it was going to be Donald Trump over Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden was incapacitated, and out of the two options that we had, I thought Donald Trump was better. And I'm going to take it a step further. They tried to throw Donald Trump in jail. That's all they tried to do instead of running on the issues. And I don't want to get sidetracked on yesterday, but, the internet got set on fire with what he said. Candace Owens put this tweet up yesterday talking about that this administration is satanic. The funny thing about Candace Owens, and I'm starting to realize that Candace Owens is an opportunist that just looks for attention however she can get it. She was behind Trump in this election that just passed, completely supportive, but now the narrative is changing. She's gone on to this whole anti-Israel movement, and she's saying that she's getting clicks and she's getting views, and this is what Candace does. But I'll read the tweet here. This is a satanic administration. We all realize that satanic Zionists occupy the White House, and Congress needs to move to have the Mad King Trump removed. All of our lives may depend upon the countries realizing that Trump is deeply unwell and surrounded by religious fanatics who convince him that he is the Messiah. Who's the religious fanatics? Who, Marco Rubio? That's probably going to go down as one of the best foreign policy secretaries of states that we've ever had. Who is a fanatic? Who is satanic here? Satanic is Iran, the movement that you're getting behind. And listen, I'm not for innocent people dying in Palestine, but let's not forget what happened October 7th and the atrocities that they committed. And we can go back and forth on this, but I don't see Israel committing the atrocities that Muslims have. Muslim states. Think about 9/11. Think about what Iran has done to their own people. They killed 40,000 people. Candace, why aren't you calling that satanic? But you want to shit on the United States of America? How does that make sense? Is Trump perfect? No. And only time will tell if this was the right decision. Right? Did Iran truly pose a threat when it comes to nuclear arms? Because I'll ask you this question. What's the alternative if they do have it? You don't think they're going to use it? I do agree that this needs to come to an end soon. But the facts remain the facts. Iran is not a good state. And if you go over 40 years of content of just looking at both sides, Republican and Democrats, they've always said Iran poses the biggest threat to our national security. What changed? Because Donald Trump decided to do something about it? Now it's a problem? Because we finally have a president that has a set of balls on him? And I agree that he threw the dice on the table. This could backfire and hurt his legacy. But at least he took some type of action against this regime. And has there been flip-flopping in the messaging? I've said it. There has been with the administration and what Trump has been saying. But it still doesn't deny that this was probably a decision that was going to have to happen regardless. If it was today or kicking the can down the road like we've done the past 40-something years with Iran, eventually something had to get done. Only time will tell if this decision was the right one. We can always play Monday quarterback, right? Hindsight is 20/20 when we're making decisions, when a president has to make a decision. And we don't have the information that Trump has. We're not sitting in the war room. We're not sitting with the intelligence. So we have no idea. Could this be Iraq 2.0? It could be. But only time will remain. But I can tell you that both sides over the years, and you can just check the tape, go on social media and just Google it. Very easy to find both sides saying that the biggest threat we had as a nation was Iran. And if Iran got a nuclear weapon, we would be done. So Trump's the only one that had the balls to take out Soleimani, which Soleimani killed many Americans. And remember, he got a whole bunch of heat for that. And now we'll come to find out that we have Soleimani's niece living here. Want to talk about open borders? How is Soleimani's niece living here and the daughter, and they're putting anti-American content out against our military and speaking up against our country? I'm glad Marco Rubio did what he did. The question I have for you guys is, would Joe Biden do it? Would Joe Biden have kicked these people out of our country? That's the question. For too long, we have been taking a backseat to the world. We're the greatest nation on earth. We should start acting like it. And it's a privilege to live here. It's a privilege to be a part of it. Yet, look at how women get treated in Iran. And this chick, go look at her Instagram. Just go put on Instagram, put her name. Put her name in Instagram. Soleimani Ashar. Her first name, I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm honest. Can't pronounce it. But it's an easy search. Go on your Instagram search. And this girl was clubbing, living our lifestyle. You know what happens to women in Iran? They get abused. They get scolded. They get beat up with rifles. There's videos out there circulating. That's how these animals treat their women. But she's here living the American dream, but then speaking out against our government, against our military. What are we talking about? But the question I have for you guys is, if Joe Biden was still president, would he have done that? Would he have taken that step and revoked her green card and basically kicked her out and deported her back to Iran? She's about to get deported back to Iran. Would he have done that? Would Gavin Newsom, as president of the United States, have done that? I'll tell you what, because if an American did it in another country, they would have the same action or reaction against that American. So I just don't know, but here's a clip on Soleimani's niece.
Two relatives of the late Iranian general Qasem Soleimani are now in federal custody tonight after being arrested by immigration agents here in Los Angeles last night.
As Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam explains, the two are among a number of Iranians to have their legal status in the U.S. revoked, accused of supporting what the U.S. government says is a terrorist regime in Iran.
This is Hamadeh Soleimani, Afshar's profile on Facebook. She's the niece of former Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani. Afshar and her daughter were taken into ICE custody in Los Angeles and will be deported back to Iran. The State Department says Soleimani's nieces were living a lavish lifestyle here in L.A., and at least one of them promoted propaganda from the Iranian regime and celebrated attacks on Americans. After their arrest, Secretary of State Marco Rubio wrote on X, "The Trump administration will not allow our country to become home to foreign nationals who support anti-American terrorist regimes." In 2020, fiery protests erupted in the Middle East when the Major General was assassinated by the Trump administration during a targeted strike while he was visiting Iraq. On Wednesday, President Trump referenced his killing of the Major General during his address to Americans about the war in Iran.
He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however. He lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big.
Afshar and her daughter's green cards now permanently revoked. Tim Pulliam, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Again, good, Marco Rubio. I'm glad you did it. And if there's anybody else that's from the Middle East that's talking against our country and wishing death upon our military, get them the fuck out. Get them out. Get them out. Get them out. Because you couldn't do that in another country, but you can do it here. And I'm all for freedom of speech. Trust me, I am. But these people are beyond freedom of speech. They're beyond freedom of speech. Where are the activist groups on these two living here while women are getting murdered and raped in Iran? Where are they? Where's Code Pink that was just in Cuba dancing and, sending videos and all types of stuff with the communist country of Cuba? Where are they speaking out? Where's the Me Too movement? Where are you guys? Doesn't fit your narrative, so you guys won't speak against it. It's sad. It's really sad. But these two, deport them, never let them back in. Hopefully they live in a shack in Iran, and that's that. But there's no room for that here. And this is what we allowed. And of course, she was in Los Angeles in Gavin Newsom's backyard. Of course. Would Gavin have done anything? It's just sad, man. Sad. Everybody has a moral high ground until their narrative, until it doesn't fit their narrative. But where are you guys at? Are you guys for women empowerment? But look at how these two are hanging out here and just living it up. See, the problem is with dictatorships and communism and authoritarianism is they want everybody to live under those rules, but the ones at the top controlling everybody, they live by a whole nother set of rules. But the question I have for you activists is, are you willing to live by those set of rules while they're doing what they do? Stealing from people, murdering people, executing people. Why are we not having conversations about this? But Donald Trump is a king? No king's rallies all over this country? You guys are saying you're being oppressed? Where's the oppression here? Donald Trump is the problem? Not those governments? And let me ask you a question. If it was so bad here, why are you still here? Why does it take Marco Rubio to revoke your green card to get you out if it was so bad? Why don't you go back to Iran if it was so good? Why don't you go back to whatever the countries you are supporting and in favor of? Because this is so bad. Why are you guys not living in those countries? Now, I see it in the comments. You go on my comments, Viva Fidel, calling me Gusano. Go to my comments. You see these idiots, and they all live here. All these morons live here. One left a comment from D.C., another one from New York, New Jersey, South Florida. What are you guys doing here? Leave. Nobody's asking you to stay here. Why don't you go to those countries if you think you can prosper a lot more than here? Why are you guys here if it's so bad? Don't get it for the life of me. It's pathetic. You guys are pathetic human beings. I said it. You're pathetic. You shouldn't be allowed not 1 second in this country. Not one. Not 1 second. We can have differences in idea. Like I said, I was a Democrat. I was a Democrat, and I got pushed away from the Democrat Party because how far left they have gone and the things that they're getting behind. They don't stand for the little guy anymore. They stand for causes, advocacy. They're advocacy groups now in the Democrat Party. They're not impacting people, the middle class, with real issues and bringing solutions to real issues. Was Donald Trump the best option possible? He was the only option because I couldn't find myself voting on the other side, especially you guys trying to throw him in jail. What was that about? And now you got Ilhan Omar that's being investigated. She went from, I think it was $140,000 a year or net worth. It was nothing. It might have been lower than that, to $30 million overnight. How does that happen? Does she just wave a magic wand and have a business now that's worth $30 million? Because I've been in business for 20-something years, and I don't have a business that's worth $30 million. Been working my whole life and still don't have that. And overnight, this woman has done it. And I'm not just saying her. It's on both sides. Both sides are cheating the system. They're finding financial gain. And whoever it is, Republican or Democrat, they shall be brought to light. All of them. Bring them all to light. But I can tell you one thing about Ilhan Omar. She doesn't love this country. She loves where she came from. Why isn't she living there? Why isn't she running for politics in Somalia? Why is she here? She literally hates our country. Don't believe me. Just listen to how she speaks about the country. It's not that hard, guys. It's easy to read between the lines and understand who these people are. And this is why I can't get behind the Democrat Party. Is there maybe someone that I would look at? Stephen A. Smith, he's bounced around. He's talked about maybe running. That's somebody I can get behind because he calls balls and strikes on both sides. I can get behind a guy like that and give him my vote. I actually saw him the other day and I told him, brother, I will give you my vote. I think he made the right move withdrawing. He's got a lot of money on the table. Why would you get into this mess? But I think someone like that really truly cared about our country would be amazing for our country. And I would have no problem voting for him. He'll run as a Democrat and I would vote for him. Because he has common sense on a lot of these issues. Just hear what he says. On both sides. When he's had to defend Trump, he's defended him. When he's had to call him out, he's called him out. Do I agree on everything that he calls out Trump on? No. But I agree on a lot of things that he has to talk about. How about a Bill Maher? I know Bill Maher's not running for president, but Bill Maher is a person that has a lot of common sense. I have a lot of respect for Bill and his position on things. Do I agree on everything? No. But he's very common sense. And now they're saying he's more Republican than Democrat, which is crazy to me. But he's more of a centrist leftist, old school Democrat. That's what we were. But you guys pushed us out. You pushed me out, I'll tell you. And I had Tom Ellsworth. I had a great conversation with Tom Ellsworth over at the lounge at PVD's. And he asked me straight out, what made you change from voting for Biden to Trump? And I told him, when the Democrats tried to put him in jail, that's when I was done. And he goes, wow, brother, me too. That's where I got pushed. And he as well. And many got pushed. Because you can't have this in our country. Now you have the tick for tat. Now he's going after Ilhan Omar and good. But this is what you're going to get. This is now the state of our politics in this country. It's never going to get better because the Democrats passed a line that you cannot return from. So this is going to be our politics. Of course, Donald Trump is going to be vindictive. What do you think? He was just going to let it slide? You debanked him. You doxed him. You try to ruin his family. And this is not over. He only has 3 more years in power. And guess what? You guys have already come out and said it. That you're going to try to ruin him. That you're going to investigate him. You had James Carville, the dumbass from Louisiana, Rhino, been alive for 100 years, talking about that they're going to go after Trump with everything they got. So this is not going to end. So what do you think Trump is going to do? He's going to be in a defensive posture because the Democrats started this. You guys started it. That's all you guys did was to try to put him in jail. That's all you guys did. For the 4 years he was out of being president, instead of trying to recover this economy post-COVID, try to figure out where do we move from Biden? What's the next option? You try to pull one over our heads, slip in Kamala last second. You didn't even have a vote for a primary and try to force it down our throats. You guys caused Donald Trump. This hatred that you guys have against Donald Trump is caused by you. You guys are the problem. He's the president of the United States today because you guys tried to put him in jail instead of focusing on the issues and who's going to be the next one in line after Biden's presidency. All your effort, all your resources was on putting Trump in jail. Trump would have died. His approval rating was on the floor. You guys caused this. So that's kind of where I stand with all this and the Iran war. Look, in due time, we're going to see if this was a good decision or not. I hope we pull out quick. We have midterms. You know, you have a presidential election in 2 years. I don't know what this is going to look like 3 years from now. I'm scared. I'm scared for my family. I'm scared for my kids. What is this going to result into? It's just very uneasy times. I can only imagine a family that, you know, that's living paycheck to paycheck right now, not knowing what their future looks like. Because there's a lot of unknown right now. It's just, there's no stability. You just feel it. Something feels different right now. You can just go outside and you just sense it from people. I used to always want to like travel with my family and we've done a lot of traveling. And I would just sit on the internet at night sometimes just looking for different destinations to go to. But I haven't done that in the past 4 months. I just literally do not care to go anywhere. I just feel like it's just not a time to do any of that right now. I just feel like the world's a little unsafe right now and it's not in a good place. But we'll see what happens here with Trump. In other news, 2 airmen, F-15, got shot down over Iran. And just a testament to our military that didn't give up, found the 2 airmen in Iran. But here's the clip.
Meanwhile, we have some breaking news to get to. President Trump making his first comments this morning on the daring rescue mission. Yeah. He just posted moments ago to Truth Social saying, "We have rescued the seriously wounded and really brave F-15 crew member officer from deep inside the mountains of Iran. The Iranian military was looking hard in big numbers and getting close. He is a highly respected colonel. This type of raid is seldom attempted because of the danger to man and equipment. It just doesn't happen." The second raid came after the first one, where we rescued the pilot in broad daylight. Also unusual, spending 7 hours over Iran. An amazing show of bravery and talent by all. We'll be having a news conference with the military at the Oval Office on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. God bless our great military warriors. So there's the president speaking out for the first time, confirming what we knew about the daring, bold, dangerous level that this rescue, both of them, entailed.
Yeah, you know, this administration, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and of course our president have set the bar very high for daring rescue missions. I mean, here we are just off of the Maduro, you know, impeccably executed capture. Then we had the pilot who was rescued, again, under very unusual circumstances, as you said, in daylight. And then this one lost pilot who found his way into the mountains there in Iran, in the heart of enemy territory, with the Iranian regime placing a bounty on his head of up to $60,000 with all these Iranians searching for him, looking for him. He hides in these crevices. And somehow our amazing military is able to go in and capture him. And we have to thank our president for this Easter miracle, because he has not left the...
In fact, it's an Easter miracle that they were able to find these 2. But it's just a testament to our military. We're the greatest military power in the world. But here, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Can you imagine if these 2 would have been captured or killed? The pundits coming out and just going after Trump, the Dave Smiths of the world. Can you imagine? It wouldn't have been good for Trump. That I can tell you. But thank God that, these two were found and that our military is that incredible. They can go into enemy territory and find their guys and pull them out. There's not many militaries in the world that can do that in enemy territory and do that. It's just an incredible story. And I'm glad. And thank you to our servicemen that are out there giving their lives for our nation, for our prosperous nation, for our future, for our kids' future. I can only imagine being a parent, or I couldn't imagine it, that you get the call that your son or daughter is being deployed to the Middle East, and you get a phone call like this and happens to be one of these airmen. Can you only imagine what they're going through? It's just, it's such a tough thing. And if you see anybody that's dressed in military attire, thank them for their service and for risking it for us, risking it every day for us to live in the greatest country of the world. And that's why I get so upset with Soleimani's niece and people that come from other countries and that want to shit on the United States. We're not perfect. I've said that. We're not perfect. We have a lot of flaws. There's a lot of things that we may not agree with, but I'll tell you what, we live in the greatest country in the world, and I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a first-generation American. I wear it. Anytime I get to see a veteran, I'm thanking them. Every time I see a flag, I just have a smile on my face because I know where my family came from. Came from no opportunity. Came from no hope. And I went to go see it in 2018. I went to Cuba. And I met with family. And I went through the towns. And some of the nicest and most noble people you ever meet in your life. But when you have conversations with them, your heart breaks because you understand that they have no hope. They don't have the hope. I knew that I was getting on a plane a few days later and I was coming back to the land of opportunity. And that's why I get very upset when people just throw away their lives or they're a victim, act like victims in this country. This country will expose you if you're lazy, if you don't want to put in the work. If you have a victim mentality, you will get exposed. No doubt. There's no handouts in this country. No handouts. Everybody wants a handout, but that doesn't work. In the history of the world, handouts don't work. Do some need it? Absolutely. Some need a little lift. They need a little Kickstarter. But you can't base a whole entire economy on handouts and government-ran programs. It just doesn't work. It's never worked. So yeah, you got to come to work in this country. And that's why you talk to a first-generation American or you talk to an immigrant, they love the country more than a person that's been here, 5, 6, 7 generations, 8 generations. There's no sense of entitlement when it comes to us. And I'm just saying it out. Like I'm being as honest as possible. You talk to any Cuban, and I can just speak for the Cubans. That's who, I've grown up in Miami, and I've seen this whole thing evolve since the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Talk to any Cuban, old school Cuban generation, not the new Cubans that come from from Cuba. And there's some that are really good. Like I got a cousin that came from Cuba about 3 years ago, and the guy works harder than most people I know that have been here their whole life or their 3rd, 4th, 5th generation. And the guy pays taxes, works 2 to 3 jobs. The guy's incredible. Makes over $100,000 a year legally and pays taxes on it. And loves this country and's learned English. He moved to Ohio on purpose to learn English because he didn't want to be down here stuck. He wanted to evolve. And like him, there are many, but there's the other that come here thinking that they should be given handouts, and they come with a sense of entitlement. And a lot of people that are 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th generation have a sense of entitlement. They think something's owed to them. Nothing's owed to you in this country. You got to wake up and go get it. And you have an opportunity to do it. But, we're so distracted with the world and everything else. The funniest thing is, like, when people ask me, how do you have time to shoot content, run multiple businesses, you have branches all over the state of Florida. How do you do it? Well, there's 16 hours in a day for me. I can do a lot in 16 hours, but the problem is that most of you want to watch Netflix. You want to play video games. You want to do things that are not productive. In your mind, you think that, hey, this is just me chilling out and relaxing and vibing. Well, keep vibing and you'll be exposed. Keep vibing. And you're going to vibe yourself right into being broke with nothing, with no opportunity. What kind of examples are we giving our kids? The biggest thing when I wake up every day is, what are my daughters going to think of me? Biggest thing. That's what I fight for every day. What are they going to say about Dad 20 years from now? Was he a guy of integrity? Was he a guy that woke up every day and went to work? I wasn't always like this. In my 20s, in my 20s, I ate a lot of shit. Because if I would have been the way I am now in my 20s, oh boy, I'll probably be worth, I don't know how much money I'll be worth. A lot of money. But I didn't. I had a different path. But if you're young, I'm speaking to you. Why are you guys not embracing the opportunity that this country affords you? Why are you being lazy? Why are you not using AI every day to figure out how to build a business? It's in your fingertips. I'm 43 years old. I don't understand technology the way you guys understand it. But every day, I'm on this thing trying to figure it out. And I have. And I will continue to figure it out. And that's the difference between people that embrace and love this country versus the ones that want to play victim. That want to play the victim card. That they're being oppressed. The only one that's oppressing you is yourself in this country. So, I kind of went off on a rant here, but I'm passionate about this stuff. I get very upset. And we could debate the issues all day long, whatever side you sit on. And I respect it. But when you shit on this country, no, we got a problem. We got a problem. We have a problem. Because A, you're ignorant. B, you don't respect the opportunity that God has given you, where others would kill and literally die to get here. Would die. Literally die. Crossing a border. How many haven't drowned in crossing the border from Mexico to the United States in the Gran Rio Valley? Or been kidnapped by coyotes, been molested, raped to try to get to a better opportunity, and knowing that they may not even get the chance because they're going to get deported, they still take the chance because of where they come from. They don't have opportunity. They have no hope. They have no hope for their kids. But you get an opportunity every day and you have the audacity to complain? You guys better check yourselves. I don't get it for the life of me. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is the Democrats play on to that. I'm not saying all Democrats are bad. Let me rephrase that. You give me a guy like Shapiro out of Pennsylvania, I'll take a hard look at him to see if he's viable. But it's the far left that play into your fears, play into your victimhood, that say that rich people are the problem. The wealthy people are the problem. And they're the bad guy. But yet, they're the ones stealing all the money. The Gavin Newsoms of the world. The Ilhan Omars of the world. The AOCs. Those rules only apply to you, but for them, they live the lavish life. They're still vacationing while we have a government shutdown. And you got Republicans alike, too, that are doing this. I'm not saying it's just Democrats, but let's just focus on the Democrats. Because a lot of the hatred that you hear in the rhetoric in this country comes from the left. Comes from the left, and they play into your fears. Don't be fooled. They're not going to help you. You need to help yourself. You need to get up every single day and go to work. There's no magic formula or something that they can wave to make your life better. Sure, can they cut taxes here? Can they implement this program? Sure, that can help you in the interim, but it's not going to solve the bigger problem that you have in your life. You You are the problem. I always tell people, are you a solution or are you a burden? Are you a burden to our society or are you a solution to our society? Are you going to be a contributor to our society or are you going to be a burden and a taker and live off of others' successes? And that's what the Democrats are selling you. The hardcore left, that is what they're selling. They're anti-capitalist. They are selling you that the rich people are bad. Worldwide, there's only 2,800 billionaires. You have 8 billion people in the world. You gotta tell me 2,800, how many live here in America? A couple hundred? And a lot of them have moved, but you have a couple hundred that live here in America? You gonna tell me that is the root of our problems? Or is it our overreaching government? The government shouldn't be as big as it is today. No way, no how. And all they keep talking about is how they can make it bigger and invade our privacy and invade our lives and tell you how to think and tell you how to move and tell you how to raise your family. The facts are the facts, guys. Like, you can just see where they lean towards. And if you guys keep playing into your fears and continue to be victims, then victims you will be. One of the greatest lines I got in high school from my baseball coach. He goes, we were on a losing streak. We lost, I don't know, I think it was like 4 or 5 games in a row by 1 run. And, some of us were very upset after a game. And he goes to us, if you are feeling sorry for yourself and you continue feeling sorry for yourself, you're going to be one sorry motherfucker. So if you continue to be a victim, you're going to continue being a victim. And that was the point of his message. You're going to continue feeling sorry for yourself. You're going to be one sorry individual. Stop pinning your problems on governments. They're not your problem. Sure. Do I want to see changes in the government? Absolutely. I want to see a free, prosperous country that endorses private entities and businesses, because that's where innovation comes from. I did a whole thing on communism versus capitalism. Is capitalism perfect? No, it's not. But it's the best system we got. It's the best system for prosperity. The best system to have something in life, to own a home, not being pimped by a government and taking 50 to 60% of your money like it happens in some countries. Go talk to a Canadian. If you guys have any Canadian friends, go talk to them. Go see what they tell you about Canada. They're flocking by the thousands to the states that have money. I have a few of them that are friends of mine. And I have a few that are friends of mine in Canada right now that tell me they don't like where things are going with Canada, that they're imposing. You put one wrong social media post and they're throwing your ass in jail. Freedom of speech? That doesn't happen here. How are you being oppressed? And Canada's not that far for some of you. If you guys want to go live under that, it's just a drive up. Go live in Canada. They'll take you. And if you have kids there, I think they give you $4,000 to $6,000 a kid. So that concludes our show. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. Comment. We'll love your feedback. Catch you guys on the next one.